I'm outside the Etihad. We've just watched City's EDS team draw 1-1 with Man United. It was a bit miserable game, I'll be honest. It's the kind of game I'm actually expecting to see in the actual first team game in the derby. I'm actually sat on the stage near the City store. I thought, why not? Because no one's here, no one can tell me to get off, so I'd do it anyway. But yeah, it wasn't a classic, if I'm being totally honest. I thought it was a team in United who were happy to defend from the start. This isn't a classic United team at this level anymore. They've always been functional, they've always ground out results at under 21 level. Now obviously it's under 23 level as well with the Premier League too. But they came with a game plan to get a point or not lose, and it was evident in the fact that they didn't get a touch for the first 30 minutes, and then typically in United fashion they went down the other end and scored with a big, fast, strong striker. These teams at their level are always set up to do this. They're always set up to score, but they weren't great going forward. They passed the ball very sloppily. In general, I was disappointed with our under-23s, our EDS. There's a lot of United fans around, as you can hear them, but I was disappointed with our EDS. I thought we'd see a little bit more from them technically. This is still most of the under-18s team. In goal as well, we had Billy O'Brien, one of the older members of the squad. Left back was Marcus Wood. On the right was James Horsfield, another older member of the squad. But after that, it was basically our under-18s. We had Cameron Humphries, Charlie Oliver. Then in midfield, we have Seydou Diallo alongside Rodney Congolo. Paulo Fernandes was headed them as the number 10. On the left was Derilson. On the right was Isaac Buckley. And up front was Lucas Nemaja. And we started off pretty well. In general, we had all the ball. We couldn't quite break down a very stubborn, very defiant United defence. We're getting a little bit of kind of joy down the right-hand side, down the wings as ever. Fernandes maybe didn't quite adapt to the number 10 role. He's usually a right winger, but he struggled a little bit to find space in a very kind of packed midfield area. It was very congested. United were quite happy to sit men on him, quite happy in general to just kind of crowd out and get a lot of men behind the ball. And then when they took their chance and broke, they did score. After that, it was their job then to make it very difficult for us. We got a little bit more joy when Brahim came on for Paulo Fernandes. He picked up a knock. Brahim came on. Now Brahim's obviously a natural with running with the ball in general. He's a very flamboyant player, very driven, full of skill, highly technical, and he in the end made the difference. It went to the second half, still 1-0 United, and then after that it was basically us just trying to break down a very stubborn United team. There was a few changes at half time. Like Charlie Oliver came off and D'Amico Dehaney, last year's right back from the under-18s, he came on and slided in at right back. James Horsfield dropped to centre back. Seydou Diallo carried on in midfield, and we've kept probing really, but it took in the end a little bit of magic from Brahim Diaz to actually get the goal, get the leveller. He actually cut inside and killed a sumptuous left-footed effort from about 20 yards into the far corner. It was a little bit Messi-esque. I know that's the big word everyone says about Brahim Diaz, but he has got magic in his boots, and the boy is very, very special. He's an exceptionally exciting talent and one to be very excited by as a City fan. He only turned 17 a month ago. He's still obviously adapting to under 23 level like most of these lads are, but he does have that little bit of magic, and he could have won it in the end as well. He skinned the the right fullback from a corner, went past him, drove into the area, nearly set up a chance for Buckley, but the ball rebounded back to Brahim, but he couldn't quite get it past the keeper, and he saved it well. So it could have been a victory at the last minute. It probably would have been just about deserved, but truth be told, it wasn't really a classic from either team. I'm not necessarily sold on Simon Davis yet as our under-23 manager. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure there's reasons he's been kept on, but to me, I saw an under-18s team there who's moved up. He was basically all of last year's under-18s, even the likes of Davenport, Sarmiento, Danny Grimshaw, they were all on the bench. It was basically an under-18 squad from last year. And this was an under-18s team last year that played great attacking, sumptuous, direct football. But I've not seen that yet. I've not actually seen that yet. I'm sure there's plenty of time. It is very much early days. A few players still adapting to this level. The likes of Jacob Davenport, for example, he started the first few EDS games and he hasn't really got into his groove yet. And he only came on today as a sub as well. And he came on at left back, interestingly enough. That was quite a strange decision. Not something I'd expect to see from Davenport, but that's where he played. There was even a few changes in general I couldn't get my head around. The likes of the Major moved to the left wing. Then we put Buckley through the middle and Derilson on the right. Derilson is not a right winger. He's a left winger. He didn't really get much joy. He beat his man a few times, but he couldn't quite kind of get through the back line. He couldn't quite get the incisiveness because he hasn't got a right foot in general. But yeah, it wasn't a classic by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't a game, and maybe United did deserve a point given the fact that they were very well organised, but that wasn't a good United team. They were in general pretty terrible, if I'm being totally honest. They're stripped of a lot of their good players from last season. It's a very unbalanced squad at United these days at under 23 level, and I do expect a little bit more from our team. I'm sure it will come in time. I'm sure when we get settled ideas, settled formations, find the right blend, then maybe we'll start to make inroads there. I think there's a few little bits of deadwood still flying around. James Horsfield, personally, I don't massively rate him. I think he's a good little functional player, but I would love to see the likes of D'Amico Dehaney get an extended run out there. Marcus Wood is playing at left back, even though, in my opinion, he's a central midfielder. And that means the likes of Eric Sarmiento isn't playing at left back, which is a shame as well. And there's a few players to balance there, given the fact that they've changed the way the academy times are set up at the moment. But that's as a result of trying to shift on certain players in certain age groups. But it'll take time to adapt to. But for now, I'd say this is 2 points dropped. We should have won this game, in my opinion. We are the better team. It came down to a bit of magic from Brahim. But yeah, that's it, guys. Anyway, I'm going to keep doing more of these little kind of mini vlogs. It's not a proper vlog because it's not really enough to go off at an academy game. But I'll get, you know, some nice little shots and so on. If you like this anyway, let me know what you think of all that. If you haven't already as well, go and check out the West Ham vlog I went up on the channel. Anyway, guys, see you soon.